Hi, so today I want to talk about how to transform negative thoughts through slow breathing. But firstly, did you know that 80% of our thoughts are made up of either negative or repetitive thinking? So you can imagine that as we're going throughout our day and we are just thinking normally, that a lot of the stuff that's swirling around in our heads are actually negative and thoughts that are obviously regurgitating and going over and over and over again. Now, of course, that's going to lead anybody to, feel quite low, quite stressed out, a little down at times, because obviously what they're doing is they're concentrating on their thought process only and not about the things that are actually showing up in their life at any one time. So a way to be able to combat these negative thoughts whilst they're happening is to slow your breath down. So I've spoken on a few occasions, as you know, about the 4-8 breath, which is fantastic for allowing you to bring yourself out of a stressful moment as you're in that stress. And that is just basically slowing your breath down, making sure that you're breathing in through your nose and out through your nose and into your diaphragm, but you're slowing your breath down as a count for 4 as you're breathing in and an 8 as you're breathing out. And the longer exhale is what's actually going to allow you to bring that kind of stillness and calm and that balance that you need straight away in that moment to calm you down and to remove any of that negativity that is actually showing up in your way. Now, if you don't want to go through and doing counting, then you can just actually slow your breath down, which is what I do. I don't count when I do my slow breathing throughout the day anymore. It was great for me when I was starting out on this beautiful slow breathing, slow life journey. But as time went on, my body was able to connect with that kind of slow breathing, and it's something that I do on a regular basis because I'm always thinking about it. Well, not thinking, but always having that as presence within me. So another thing that you can do if you don't want to do the counting is just to really slow your breath down as much as you can. And a good trick is to just concentrate on the air as it's coming in through your nose and as it's turning around in your belly, and then imagining that just breathing out. If you want to imagine breathing in golden light, you can do that as well. That's always a great visualization to do because then that allows for like an instant connection. Now, the types of negative thoughts that we know come up during the day, it could be when you're out driving. It's usually something that is quite an idle moment. It's not when you're kind of sort of bang into creativity, but when you're in these kind of idle moments where your mind then starts to chatter away the way that it does. So you could be sitting in the car, you could be in the workplace, where a lot of negativity is coming up because you might be thinking about a project that you're doing, wondering whether or not you're actually good at this particular thing that you're wanting to bring out. It could be a work project that you're doing for yourself where you're actually wanting to bring yourself out into the world. So you might be wanting to put out a post on social media, or you're wanting to send out an email to a client. So it's a really personal thing, and you're going to get, or you may get, negative thoughts coming in that are basically telling you that do people really want to hear what it is that you are wanting to say? Are you going to come across in the right way? You're not going to come across in the right way. And you know how the thoughts are just chicka, they don't stop. So slowing that down just really allows you to be able to move out of that thought process as it's happening, because you're concentrating solely on the breath as it's coming in and out of your body. You're able to step out of that thought process and actually look in from the outside, and then really kind of go, well, actually, this negative thought that I'm thinking, is it really true? Is it really true for this particular moment right now? Or is this just something that has sat within my energy field over the years, because maybe, I don't know, back maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago, you might have done something and you had a particular reaction from somebody, or a reaction from yourself, or an emotion from yourself when that happened. So therefore you thought that was something negative, that you were unable to do a certain thing, and you've carried that around with you for many, many years. So all of those thoughts and those patterns are really just old conditioning that has been sitting within your energy field for such a long time, and just going over and over again. Now, I remember sitting this morning whilst I was having my tea, and just listening to the thoughts that were going on in my head, and it was literally saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. So when that happens, how can you kind of think to yourself, oh, well, that's actually true, or that's something that I really need to listen to, when you certainly hear those thoughts coming through and they're repetitive, how can you then believe that is actually true for that moment, because it's just going over and over and over again? So think about that a little bit more, or not think too much about it, but just kind of see that a thought that you might deem to be negative doesn't necessarily fit the particular situation that you're in at that time. And you really just need to be able to allow the emotion that you're feeling from that negative thought to just pass through you. And to be able to do that, you really do need to slow your breath down. So concentrating on your breath in that moment is key. It's perfect. Now, other negativity that might come in, it could be conversations that you have had with either your partner or with friends or with work colleagues, or maybe even just people down at the shop or something like that. I mean, I know I was very much quite an overthinker for a lot of my life, and I tended to think a lot about the things, the conversations that I had, the things that I have said. Oh my God, did I come across in the wrong way? Am I, being seen by people differently than what I see myself as? And that really plagued my being for a long, long time. But that again is just a regurgitated thought or emotion that happened such a long time ago, that just keeps moving and moving and moving around within your very being, within your very energy field, and it just needs to be released. And the way to do that, as I said, is just to step out of that, come into presence, and then just look at it as it's actually playing out, and then just go, well, okay, actually, do I really believe this particular thing? Do I really believe that I come across that way, or that I'm being seen that way, or I am that way? And so you really need to be able to reduce that mental noise that is coming in, that's being thrown at you on a day-to-day basis. It overshadows you, it sits on top of you, and if you really allow it to penetrate you or penetrate your very being, then you're going to get down, you're going to get stressed, you're going to get anxious, and that's what happens for the majority of the time. And again, when you're breathing into your chest all of the time, and you're shallow breathing, then you're just fueling that constantly and constantly. So I wanted you to think about it from this perspective, okay? We breathe, okay? That's how we live. But now think about it in a different way, that the breath that we have been given as our life also has the ability to allow us to actually live the best life. It allows us to bring calm and balance and peace into our world when we know how to regulate that breath. Because that is exactly what it has been given to us for. When babies are born, they breathe extremely slow, so much slow that you can't hear them some of the time. So it's only as we've gone through life and, we are attached to the outside world and everything's moving around so fast. There's social media, there's other types of media that is capturing us, and it's all loud and it's all moving all over the place, that we are breathing just to keep up with it. When really all we need to do is actually slow breathe so that we can come above that noise and allow all of that noise to just trickle past us. All of that negativity to just trickle past us. So slow breathing is the key to getting rid of negativity. The more you slow breathe throughout your day, the more that you're actually able to, have more of a kind of balanced day as you're moving through certain tasks that you might be doing, driving, work on the computer, creativity, out with friends, all things like that. And if you also want to think about it this way as well, is that as soon as the negativity comes up, if you can try and train yourself to go, right, okay, negative thought means slow down the breath. And so it's like you are attaching the breathing to the negativity and going, right, okay, I know that as soon as it's negative, it's slow down. And you'll then start to see the difference immediately. And the more that you can do that throughout your day, the more that you'll be able to see that life really isn't as stressful and as negative and as loud as you actually think it is. So thank you so much for listening today, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Bye.